welcome to Perception Media. I'm your hostess, the Cinegeek, and today I have a theory, and that is that Dumbledore knew about Quirrell the whole time. So we're, of course, going back to the first book, which is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, or Sorcerer's Stone, depending on where you're from, which takes place around 1991 to 1992, which is Harry's first year at Hogwarts. When Quirrell, during this time, is the Defense Against the Dark Arts professor. So, in the 1950s, Dumbledore applied for the Defense Against the Dark Arts position, and he did not get the job. He actually applied 2 times in total. Obviously, he didn't get the job either time, but around that time, he cursed the position so that no one can hold the position for longer than a year, and that's why we go through so many Defense Against the Dark Arts professors. And so that means from around, we'll say 1955, give or take, to 1997, after the final battle, we have to have a different Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher. So that's 42 teachers, approximately. And I believe the Super Carlin brothers have a theory that Dumbledore actually taught Defense Against the Dark Arts a couple of those times, which I think makes sense. I don't know if it's true, but I kind of like the idea rather than having to go through 42 different professors, because why would anybody still take that job? Literally. Why? Anyone. Would you take that? I wouldn't. So Quirrell would have had to have been, because of that, hired that year to be the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher. And while I didn't find this on Pottermore or anything that J.K. Rowling has said specifically, most of the sites that I was looking at all said that Quirrell had previously been the Muggle Studies professor, so I guess that's true, but it might not necessarily be canon. Either way, we do know for sure that he spent about a year traveling where he encountered Voldemort's spirit, or non-corporeal form, and that's when he inhabited specifically the back of Quirrell's head, and he became what J.K. Rowling said is a temporary Horcrux. And with Voldemort living in the back of his head, Quirrell gets the Defense Against the Dark Arts job, and we don't know if Dumbledore asked Quirrell or if Quirrell asked Dumbledore. But we do know that Dumbledore for sure knows that everybody only has this job for a year. He has to know that. He has to hire these people. And so he had to have hired him knowing that he'd only be there for a year. And around that same time, out of all the time in the world, he gets the Philosopher's Stone from the famed alchemist and his friend Nicholas Flamel. Odd timing, don't you think? I think. And he specifically has Hagrid retrieve the stone with Harry from Vault 713. With Harry. He has Hagrid get the stone with Harry. Interesting. And the stone is then delivered by Hagrid to Hogwarts, where it's guarded by his dog Fluffy. It's an interesting order of events here. So Quirrell sets out looking for respect and glory, and instead he gets possessed. And then he goes from being the Muggle Study professor to being the Defense Against the Dark Arts professor. Then Dumbledore moves the stone from Gringotts to Hogwarts, where it's guarded by Fluffy. All of this in view of Harry. Voldemort wasn't seeking out this stone, as far as we know. He didn't make a move on it until Dumbledore brought it to him. Kind of like fate, don't you think? So Dumbledore places the stone in the mirror of Erised, which, if you don't know, is desire spelled backwards. I'm going to go ahead and say I didn't know that. I'm smart. So, and he made it so that someone who desired the stone, but not to use it, could get it. So it was impossible for Voldemort to get the stone from the mirror, but not for Harry. So, as I said before, and I've said this like 3 times now, Hagrid is sent to get Harry and the stone. Then Dumbledore gives Harry his father James's invisibility cloak for Christmas. And then Dumbledore knows Harry has seen the mirror because Dumbledore explicitly was there when Harry saw the mirror and explained to Harry what the mirror of Erised is and what it does and what it shows you, your desires. So Dumbledore, he has known Hagrid for what, like nearly 40 years? He knows that lovable, wonderful giant is a blabbermouth. So it was likely that Harry would find out about Fluffy, about what Fluffy was guarding, about what the stone was. It's likely. So we also know Dumbledore is a skilled legitimate, skilled enough to know when he's being lied to. And we know that Voldemort is also very skilled, if not more skilled, legitimens and occlumens. But we have to keep in mind that at this time, being non-corporeal and just living in the back of Quirrell's head, he's not at full strength. And also, he'd have to have not only hidden his thoughts, but Quirrell's as well, which would probably take a lot out of you. But we know Snape is a more powerful occlumens than Voldemort is a legitimens, because he was a double agent for so long. But in these first, for all 7 books really, Snape is the red herring. He has to look like the bad guy, or else the books don't work. But we later find out that the whole time he was working with Dumbledore quite closely, again as a double agent. And so Snape would have told Dumbledore that he suspected Quirrell. And moreover, Snape, being this accomplished occlumens, he probably would have been an equally as accomplished legitimens, so he would have been able to have read Voldemort's mind, being not full-powered, and also having to hide Quirrell's thoughts to the best of his ability. So it's likely Dumbledore knew Voldemort was in Quirrell, and he didn't help the 22-year-old wizard at all. Yeah, that's right, Quirrell was young. He was younger than me. He was a baby-faced professor. And instead, he set a trap to test to see how powerful Voldemort, was, and to see if the magical protection that Lily's sacrifice left on Harry worked, in that if Voldemort, as Quirrell, tried to attack Harry, he would be protected. That does, at the end of the day, leave a plot hole with the Thestrals, because in the films, Harry obviously does see Quirrell die, but in the books he doesn't. So cinematically, that does leave a plot hole, because Harry should then be able to see the Thestrals at every point thereafter. And then lastly, this does kind of further my points, I'm gonna plug, that Dumbledore probably knew that Sirius was innocent the whole time as well. That's right. Dumbledore, much like Merlin, is this wise and powerful master manipulator of the wizarding world. Okay, that's all I got. So anyway, thank you for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are. And we need a Moon Knight movie. Have a great day. This is a weird angle.